Member Rousey had her hand up.
Thank you. I guess my list was too high. Member Rousey.
No, it's okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
we hear you.
good. One of the things that I found today that I find that needs to be a little bit more urgent and possibly on not only follow up with the subcommittee dealing with broadband, but also that we have it on a future agenda item, um, so that we as a whole can discuss it more and maybe make recommendations from the whole committee.
Great. Broadband. Member Stewart.
Broadband.
I heard that. I'd like to hear a report on the application process and the outreach that's going to be done. I know that we said we wanted to dedicate the October meeting to equity, or at least that was floated. And so now it's, this is the last meeting before our executive meeting. So I know that we can't pile it all on, but that's it'd be nice to hear what the outreach will be for that process. And I'd also, we were talking earlier in the agenda about I have to pull up my agenda. If there are other hands, I don't see any other hands. But I wanted to address what we didn't address from member Armis Kelly that we can address now. If you give me a moment.
And I'll just add while we're taking a quick pause that members
Sure.
are always invited to send email messages or text to staff at any time if you have meeting topic ideas that you want to see reflected, and then we'll just keep it compiled within the kind of the ongoing bike rack that's part of the meeting materials, the agenda materials for this item. So please send us things as well as member reports at any point.
I'd like to see an item that discusses like just training for being a subcommittee chair, so that we can give folks the resources that they need so that they feel like they're able to do the work that's required between meetings. And to that end, it would be nice to understand if we could have more input from subcommittee chairs on agenda development. And I know that if that becomes more than 2 members, it becomes something that has to be noticed. So I mean, I understand the implications of that, but I think it's a discussion that we should have, because if we have a bike rack of items, maybe it should be a part of the agenda so that like people can refer to it when we come to this item every month, because I think that
yeah, that totally makes sense. And so we are integrating updates of bike rack items into that agenda report. And so for things that do come up, so for example, the equity visioning process, we're doing our best to note that when those things are coming up to meetings, how they're coming up, or if they're being routed through subcommittee meetings. So acknowledging there are organizational processes that can probably happen, like it can be a better, more organized document as we move forward. But we will be continuing to update the status of items in that report.
Thank you. Other items for the agenda. Seeing no hands, are there any items that maybe staff would like to share at this time, if you'd like?
I think Peggy might be logging back in to share her report.
Okay. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Why don't, just in the interest of time, we can come back to Member Martinez's report. Could we do the closing items and next steps? Is that possible?
Chair, just for the record, there were no public comments on that item either.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Sorry about that. Is Miss Abrams still with us?
I'm still here.
Would you mind just giving taking us through the closing and next steps to in place of Member Martinez's report? We'll come back to it just so that we can move forward.
Sure, no problem. Thank you, Chair Walker. Well, just to close this out and recognizing that hopefully Peggy can hop back on to give her member report, but I do want to extend my gratitude to everybody for engaging in today's discussion. And I also want to extend our gratitude to all of our presenters, and a special thank you to Guadalupe Rojas from Mid-City Community Advocacy Network for the great presentation that she gave on their organization's work in San Diego. As always, we've captured detailed notes from today's conversation about subcommittees, about the CAPDI recommendations, the creation of a committee mission, vision, and policy principles for transportation equity, and finally, the ways in which the committee wants to engage with the Senate Bill 1121 state and local needs assessment. So you can expect to receive some follow-up communications from staff about next steps, and also another reminder to submit future meeting topics and member reports to staff as well. And what we have right now that folks have shared during the meeting include broadband, the outreach process for the EAC application, and also training for the subcommittee chairs. So we've captured that in our notes, but we welcome members to send us any additional topics that they didn't get a chance to share today. And with that, Chair Walker, I will hand it back to you.
Great, thank you so much. And since we're kind of taking items 12 and 13 together, Member Martinez, I think you're back with us. We'd love to hear your member report if you're willing to share it. I thought I saw Member Martinez.
Hi.
There you are. Welcome back. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure that this was going to happen, so I sort of anyway, here I am. So I cannot read the slides, as you know. Sequoia, I think, is going to read them. But I think that we're talking we're talking about the presentation that I gave to Caltrans in late July. Is that right?
Yeah, and I mean, I can briefly read the slide. It's
okay, sweet.
In May 2024, committee member Martinez was featured in a video on the Caltrans website highlighting how the committee informs Caltrans equity initiatives. That's on the Caltrans website, dot.ca.gov, and under their news releases, it's news release number 2024. That's the year.
This is ASL interpreter.
I'm sorry?
Down?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Sure. So again, it's in May 2024, committee member Martinez was featured in a video on the Caltrans website highlighting how the committee informs Caltrans equity initiatives. And again, it's notice number 2024-017 on the news releases website, Caltrans's website, dot.ca.gov. And in July of 2024, member Martinez facilitated a roundabout accessibility for people with disabilities training at the Caltrans District 1 office. That's our North Coast district, which includes Humboldt and Mendocino counties, among others, Lake County. And Caltrans District 1 staff and local partners learned more about the challenges roundabouts pose for pedestrians who are visually impaired. We also got snippets of this presentation at a previous meeting for the EAC. So I'd love to turn it back to you, Member Martinez, and just appreciate you for your hard work and for headlining the website, the Caltrans website, the week of the May meeting. That was exciting to see. I didn't see it until I saw it on the website. That's where I heard. So congrats to you.
Well, thank you so much. And I thank Caltrans for inviting me to, and Naila Hope Harden, actually, for including me in the Caltrans, the video. So that was really super nice and special. The thing that I did in July was a 3-hour workshop. 2 hours were via Zoom and 1 was in the field describing and sort of outlining concerns that we face, that folks who are blind and other vulnerable populations face when interacting with certain roundabouts. And I did a real brief discussion of that at the May meeting as well. We did have not only people from Caltrans District 1 and a lot of our local partners from the city of Arcata and Humboldt County Association of Governments and the Coalition for Responsible Transportation Priorities. But we also had Mike Keever from Caltrans, and I can't remember Mr. Keever's title. I'm really bad with titles.
Chief Deputy Director.
There we go. And yeah, and he came and expressed his appreciation. And so he and I have corresponded a little bit about potential next steps. And I understand that there is also interest from Caltrans Chief Engineer, I want to say Donna Berry. So it does look like Caltrans is interested in learning more about how pedestrian hybrid beacons could genuinely make a very big difference in the safety of people who are blind and other populations when interacting with roundabouts. And of course, I'm speaking specifically about roundabouts that would be, would have a lot of pedestrian infrastructure. Not roundabouts that are designed for, freeway, large highway usage. So I did feel that, honestly, that my membership on the EAC did elevate this, the presentation that I did for District 1. And I believe that it has elevated the concern about roundabout accessibility and safety. So I thank everyone who attended, and I thank every of the folks on EAC, on the staff who did, share my contact details with Caltrans. And I am hoping that this will lead to, some genuine future, some actual change, because change is what will be needed in order to make roundabouts safe for people who are blind and other vulnerable populations. And that is a hard thing. But it does sound like there's interest. So I really appreciate that very much. So I know, we're way behind, so I'll end it, but thank you so much for the opportunity to tell you what we did. And if people are interested in this presentation, let me know. I can deliver it to your group, or I can talk more about it. And I think the last thing I should say is that my concerns are not sort of just mine as an individual. They are my concerns, brought forth from the blindness advocacy and pedestrian safety realm, in addition to other pedestrian safety advocates. So yeah, I'm at this time a messenger, but I'm not standing alone. I'm standing with many, many other people who share my concerns. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Member Martinez. I also just want to honor the fact that you are showing us how to do local level engagement with district offices, and you're setting the example. And it would be lovely. There are 15 members right now, 14, but 15 seats on our committee. There are 12 districts and 3 agencies. It's an opportunity for us to have liaisons with each district, and that would help even further the work that we're doing, not just at the state level, but also at the local level. So I really want to appreciate you for the work you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Great. Any questions or comments from my committee? Member Rousey, is that a comment you want to share with us all? Oh, are you there, Member Rousey?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, he was talking about, the roundabout, and having an audible sounding for crossing and navigating that in our walkable communities. There's so much difference from area to area, from rural to big cities, on how they have our crossings for sidewalks and in different areas. I just want to make sure that I don't know how to standardize some of it to where it's workable and usable by the disability community, not only people who are blind, but for our wheelchairs and our seniors who walk a little slower and things like that. But I appreciate our members' work around disability on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know there was a little static, and just in case interpreters weren't able to get that, just really looking at issues about how to standardize roundabouts and to be inclusive of communities that engage with them differently, such as folks who are blind, again, wheelchairs, seniors who might walk a little bit slowly. And I
Can I
think that's all
respond
great.
really quickly?
Oh,
Chair Walker,
sure.
really quick,
Please.
just to say that yes, I absolutely agree with Member Rousey's point. I do believe that it would behoove Caltrans to do a far deeper dive into this question and into this concern, which it sounds like they're interested in doing. But I want to let I would say that if they decide, when they decide to do it, I will absolutely recommend that we gather experts from the wider disability community with various requirements and needs. But in my work, I always include the needs of wheelchair users and others. So I can just let you know, Member Rousey, that I'm completely with you. I am absolutely interested in making sure that when we do recommendations, that we are not causing unintended consequences for other people.
Great. Before I go to public comment, which I haven't seen any yet, but if you have public comment, now's the time to raise your hand. I do want to just thank, especially because we're a half hour beyond the end time of this meeting. Big thank you to everyone who helps put this meeting together. That's Miss Brandy, who, if Brandy wasn't here, we all wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to speak on the Zoom. To clerks Justin Hall and Doug Remedios. Obviously to our leadership staff, Sequoia and Carolyn, and their leaders as well, from Alexis to Naila, Mark Tollison, and Tanisha Taylor, Executive Director of the Commission. So just a big thank you to you all for the work that you do to make this all happen. And a big shout out to Commissioner Falcone, who I think is still hanging in there. You do so much, and here you are, 5 hours more of your life committed to the mission. So very appreciative of that. Any comments from staff before I go to public comment?
No comments. Thanks, Chair Walker.
Great. Is there public comment? Clerk Remedios, our last task of the afternoon.
Not seeing any request for public comment on this item. Thank you, Chair.
Great. I know our next meeting's in October. I don't have the date handy. Is it the 22nd? It's not. It's October. Does anyone have it handy?
October 24th.
Thank you. October 24th is our next meeting. It's in Sassoon, which is in the Bay Area region or District 4. So hopefully we'll see you on Zoom or online for that. We'll have a time posted for that a few weeks before. And just a big thank you to everyone who's here. And there's a lot of staff here that I didn't name, and very appreciative to you, and didn't mean to leave Miss Clemens out, who's also here on behalf of the Executive Office for Caltrans. So thank you all for coming, and at 5:30, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.